been a long day. It's 9:30 and I'm literally on my like fifth cup of tea right now. Yes, you should be sorry. You definitely should be sorry. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, boys and girls. How are we all doing today? I keep forgetting that this is supposed to still be quasi a bedtime segment, which means that I'm not supposed to be laughing quite that loud, but you know, whatever, we'll deal with it. Anyway, so today we're going to continue our reading of the English Constitution, and just like I promised last time, we will have a quick vote at the beginning of every one of these to see whether I should read it out loud or not, okay? So whenever you're ready, you may start. I think our administrators, yes, our so here's the thing, right? Like I have so much faith in our administrators that I often don't check whether they're doing what I ask them to do. And every time that I do check, it's like, yes, they are. And which sort of reinforces my faith in them. But as per contractual agreement, I am supposed to check to make sure that they're doing what they're doing as sort of a form of guidance, right? Because a few of or most of our administrators are actually year one students, and this is sort of their a way for them to be exposed to management techniques, a way for them to be exposed to organization, and so part of why I agreed to do this is to mentor them. And Muses forgets to mentor because administrators are too good at what they do. It's a compliment. Yes, it is. Take it like a compliment. Anyway, shall we continue? Yes. Blah blah blah. What is the? Or it's still ongoing? Okay. I'm in that case, I'm gonna blow my nose. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Fantastic. So I don't have to read it out loud, which is great. It means I can be a little bit faster. No. See, this is talking about you right here. Where is it? Destitute of morality. See, this is talking about you. 330 makes fun of a viewer by quoting Bagehot by serendipitously quoting Bagehot. And this is something we've talked about in the past, which is like creating serendipity, right? Like obviously I didn't know that it was this was right here, but it well, no, so what happened is I glanced at the screen and I saw what was it? Images, dismal tribes cutting with stone tools, hardly resisting the attacks of huge, fierce animals. Remember, like this is stuff that I talk about, right? Like, and I figured this stuff out before I read Bagehot, so it's sort of like it's mildly a badge of honor for me that this is the case. But anyway, so. Anyway, so I glanced at the page and I saw stone tools, painfully with stone tools, and so I wanted to use it to insult someone who was just insulting you right there, and who still hasn't shut up. But then I started talking and I couldn't find stone tools anymore. But then serendipitously, I saw destitute of morality, right? And so that makes a perfect transition because it actually fits my boy much better than like painfully using stone tools. Magic for religion, and if we compare imagined life, actual life in Europe, we're overwhelmed. Isn't it funny that this was actually written in the 1800s? Excuse me? Why am I no longer able to mark things? Okay. What? Okay. Well, that's not the right one. Hold on. Cancel. This is all I have to say on this. Painful step. And so I don't want to condone this exactly, right? Because obviously this is sort of also the foundational basis of the Civilizing Mission, which was a sort of self-imposed European colonialist ideal of imposing civilization, what they thought was civilization, on the rest of the world. For people that for people that were too weak to fight back, it would just mean, like the overbearing colonial administrators. For countries that were too big to simply conquer, or too centralized to conquer properly, it would just be like imposed trade, like Admiral Perry and opening of the Tokugawa shogunate, or the Opium Wars in China, or the East India Company. All of these things technically are part of this sense of mild superiority that the white male had in 1860. And you can see why they did, because obviously their technology was more advanced, their military was more advanced. They were the supreme they were in their supreme, well, that's not even strictly true. The aristocratic portions of Western European countries, and by that I don't simply mean landed nobility, but also those self-made people who had the money. They were at the top of their world, right? Like far beyond, like there was nothing that could challenge them except each other. And so then, of course, when you're in that state, you would want to, I guess, promote civilization, promote your type of civilization, right? A civilization that is catered directly to that cohort. What's it called? The Civilizing Mission? I can't remember. Hold on, let me look it up. Wikipedia. Yes. Yeah, Civilizing Mission. And obviously this was not just this was not just a British thing, obviously. Definitely the French, Portuguese, the Spanish were very, very, how do you say, we're also very much involved in this, right? Like, in fact, even the Germans, in their little bits of Africa that they managed to get before World War One, we're of the same how do you say, modus operandi, right? So I'm gonna ignore that. Anyway, moving on. All right, I did want to say one other thing. It was that this was limited to the upper classes, obviously, to the upper classes. There was still extant a big lower class that was completely uneducated and uncatered to, right? And let's be very clear about this, because what happened to my face? Oh, there we go. Because the nature of what Bagehot proposes in the English Constitution is actually not so much aimed at a civilizing mission outside of Great Britain. It was actually essentially a way of controlling these exact unwashed masses, right? And so the English can't type properly Constitution was written as a quote-unquote written to justify a quote-unquote civilizing mission against the British lower classes. Well, I don't actually disagree with that. One of our year 1 class 1 students just said that that actually, I'm not going to repeat that. yes, exactly. I'm not going to repeat that. Let's move on. Lower order, middle order are still, when tried by what is standard of the educated, 10,000, narrow-minded, unintelligent, and incurious, right? And this is exactly what I mean here. 10,000 is a way to describe the elite of the empire, right? And so the average British landholder, or not even a free citizen, is, according to Bagehot, narrow-minded, unintelligent, and incurious. And yeah, so I mean, obviously things have changed since I use this to pile up abstract words. Go system that actually big issue or kitchens, because usually narrow-mindedness, unintelligence, and incuriosity, and those are very much a reflection of the way that society was at the point. So but try what seems to him most obvious upon the housemaid and the footman, and it seems unintelligible that his audience think him mad and wild when he is speaking what is in his own sphere of thought the dullest platitude of cautious soberness. And so, sorry, I do want to draw our attention to so class, year 1 class 2, year 1 class 2. Then this is specifically directed towards you. Are you lot saying that you are at what Bagehot calls, where were we, primary strata of human progress? claims that the year 1 students are what, the primary class of human progress. Yes. Primary strata are the primary strata of human progress. And that year 2,3 students are the secondary and tertiary strata of what was it? Resembling life of old times rather than the present life. Yeah, no, I completely, 100%, absolutely agree with this. This is fantastic. Yeah, no, definitely. I stand behind this. I stand behind the year 1 class 2 cooperation in this instant 100%. Our year 2 and 3 students are obviously the secondary and tertiary strata of human progress. They are the characteristics of these strata are resemble the life of old times rather than the present life of the higher regions, right? And a philosophy which does not ceaselessly remember, which does not continuously obtrude the palpable differences of the various parts, will be a theory radically false. And so therefore we must, as a group, continue to make fun of our year 2 and 3 students. See, completely justified. Bagehot says so. I'm sorry. Muses is sorry to our year 2 and 3 students. I must continue to make fun of you. Bagehot says so. Right? It's just this is just the way it is, right? Like this is how life is. Good times. Anyway, there is something here. If we were to take a step back and actually address this philosophically, there is, in my mind at least, something here, which is that these how do I say? I'll put it this way. Our year 2 and 3 students have experience with life and the understanding of how systems work. And if we could have married that with the vim of youth to push things forward, I think society would be in a much better position. But I also think that makes society less stable, and as a result, that kind of change can as a whole make society more miserable unless every single person is on board. Does that kind of make sense? Because obviously humans crave, at some level, they crave stability, right? And obviously if you have too much stability, you'll want to rebel, which is sort of what teenagers do. Like they're just growing into their adulthood, and they're chasing agency, right? They're chasing the ability to demonstrate to themselves that they are able to get things done. And oftentimes they don't quite understand why things are the way they are, or they don't quite understand the repercussions of their actions, and therefore, obviously, that's why we all make youthful mistakes. Well, except me, of course, I never did. No, that's not true. Yes, no, I've made plenty of mine, and I'm sure everyone here has as well. And that's sort of the point, that if we could have married that chase for agency with knowledge and experience of the world, you can get so much done. But also, you would disrupt society too quickly. And when society is disrupted too quickly, unless every single person is on board, people suffer, right? I think, ow, excuse me. Yeah. I'll just end it there. Unless every person is on board, a society that changes too quickly is probably not good for the average person. Yeah. So this is why our year 2 and 3 students are but anyway, so this is why our year 2 and 3 students are at the root of our current political misconduct, right? Because obviously they resemble the life of old times rather than the present life of the higher regions. That's it is not true that the lower classes will be wholly absorbed in the useful. On the contrary, they do not like anything so poor. No orator ever made an impression by appealing to men as to their plainest physical wants, except when he could allege that those wants were caused by someone's tyranny, right? Which is true. This is populism at its very core. Excuse me. Why are you not showing my... What are you doing, bro? Okay. Okay. Good. At one stage of rudeness. Some would call this, idealism, and some would call those who don't do this cynics. Idealism versus cynicism. There we go. That's wrong button. And oh come, hello. Can you work, please? Thank you. There we go. Okay. Are you saying you don't enjoy my piano music? Oh, we really should do more piano music. Hi, Dark. How are you? Okay. On the note of my piano music, right? First of all, it was not done on the piano. It was done on it was done on a digital score sheet, and therefore it was all digitally rendered. I'm well, Dark. Thank you for joining us today. And secondly, the whole point of those piano musics is for it to be to hide in the background when I'm talking, so that or when I'm reading, that the stream doesn't go completely silent, because just like dogs, you lot, if there's no sound coming out of the stream, you lot start spamming the Discord channels, and then I'll never hear the end of it, right? I'm well, Dark. Did I answer that already? Anyway, Dark, just so you understand, when I'm speaking, if it seems like I'm speaking to someone else, that's because I'm speaking to my community that's hidden on a Discord channel. 25. I am actually in the process of reading a book called The English Constitution, written in, what was this, 1850, 1860? And it talks about how the British political system was established, and how the elite in that British political system were using the system and the Queen to keep the average worker docile, so they could rule the country in peace, so to speak. No, there's nothing that like that for our modern day, mostly because, well, I mean, as we've sort of shown over here, right? Like a lot of this, what Bagehot says here is still relevant today. Dark, it is called. I'll just type it into chat. The English Constitution. No, okay? Venture capitalists do not control the world. If we could, we would have done so ages ago, but we don't. So, right? So this essentially what we were saying is that the Queen Victoria was considered the dignified part of the Constitution, and therefore, with most people being loyal to the Queen or showing some sort of loyalty to the Queen, that makes them a little bit more docile and less likely to revolt against the Queen. Actually, funnily enough, we should consider this as well from basically 100 years later, with the decline of the British Empire. Right, if we think back, if we look back on history over the the 1850s after the Suez Crisis, and if we look at the way of the decline of the British manufacturing industry, yes, there was so much civil unrest, but through it all, the Queen managed. And that is Queen Elizabeth II now. I think managed to, and I've said this before, and I continue to believe in this very much, that Queen Elizabeth was instrumental in the managed and dignified decline of the British Empire. Right, like that is, without a doubt, in my mind, that is the most important contribution that among actually many, the most important contribution of Queen Elizabeth II. The most important contribution to civil of Queen Elizabeth II was her was in using her position to manage the decline of the British Empire with dignity and grace. And that's not to say, between the Falklands War and the rampant tire burning of British Leyland workers and all of that. That is not to say that there wasn't a lot of problems in the country. Only that I think a lot of these problems, if they were put into a different country like America, it would have been it would have the differences would have been much bigger, and the stress on the national system would have been much bigger. And so by her very nature being the dignified part of the Constitution, as Bagehot says, where is it, blah blah blah, dignified, yep, according let's just say the dignified parts are, you know, like it is sort of like the spirit of a country compared to the actual musculature and the function of a country, right? And so the mental health of the country itself was a little bit better thanks to the Queen, and therefore they didn't completely, you know, go crazy. Anyway, I know we didn't get through a lot of this today, but we are done for today. So let me end it here by saying, yeah, next time I'll try not to die laughing halfway through. But, you know, you gotta admit, the Year 1 Class 2 claim that the Year 2 and Year 3 students are what was the exact quote? Oh my god. Secondary and tertiary strata of human progress. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to it's hard to argue that, right? Because obviously we use the same kind of cardinal numbers to denote Year 1, Year 2, and Year 3 students, and so primary, secondary, and tertiary strata. It's so good. Yes. She's not here yet. It's fine. Year 1, 2, 3 students corresponding to primary, secondary, and tertiary strata of human development is just too nice a coincidence to not laugh about. Anyway, yes, we're done. Thank you very much for watching. In conclusion, please download Firefox, please don't do Chrome, and I shall see all of you. Oh wait, today is Thursday. No, I should be able to see all of you tomorrow. Yeah, we'll talk tomorrow. Yeah. We'll actually, so we'll probably have, it'll probably be earlier in the day, and then we'll have our drink, and then I have a whole bunch of late morning and then afternoon meetings. Anyway, thank you, bye. Also wink. Oh, wait.